And welcome back to Oakley and day 5 of our Rolife Sunshine Town build. I totally lost where I was. So today we are carrying on with step 16, which does include electrics, but let's get straight on with a few bits that I kind of glossed over almost yesterday, which is another sign, which is rather cute, which is the coffee menu. So, okay, maybe you can read it better than I. Can you read that? If we wanted to focus. Yeah, anyway, there you go. So we are sticking that on. I want to make sure it's the right way round. So that's going to go here. So just put one here. When it wants to come out. Normally it's two given, you watch. Let's get it's all at the top. I have to start standing this one up right, aren't I? Oh, there we go. So you want to make sure you do get into the corners. So my glue just seems to like to come out in big blobs, but that's okay because we can then spread it. And I know we're going to be doing something with this, so if I got some over, we can put it on there. Okay. So let's put this one here. Just make sure it's in the lines, which it looks like it is to me. Maybe down a little bit that side. That's pretty close. Okay. Then we will need glue on here. I've got a bit here, so maybe I can double use this to do this other one here and here. Okay, so first things first. I did rub this down, but it's got a little bit left over on it. Should get my tweezers. Be a bit easier. So that's going to go on here, and we have a paper element to go on top. We've probably gone to 17 today. I have pulled it, I just don't have it in front of me, but I have pulled the stuff. Well, it depends how simple these lights are going to be. We will find out. So you've got brown side and a white side. So brown side up, or at least that's what I'm assuming. I haven't checked. Yeah. So that goes on there. And then we will need a little bit of glue, which I might be able to get from outside here. On there. No, not really. Because it's very splodgy, my glue. I mean, I think because I have difficulty controlling my hands are like a little bit they struggle, so I think sometimes I overcompensate and then I squeeze too hard. So when I'm trying to get a little, oh, I was successful a little bit, I tend to get a lot. Oh, no, I could have done with a little more. There we go. Oh, what do you know? There you go. Really have to concentrate. If I concentrate, I can do this. And we have a little sign here, which is there. I can't actually read that myself, but you might be able to. And that's just going to go on here and press that down. And the next thing we are going to do is put the railing on for the stairs, which is here. So I have painted the inside of these, and we are also putting a signpost up, and for some reason we are putting in these on the right side, just seeing if there's a specific way, or are they the same? I think they're the same. So these just pop in here, making sure I got it right. I'm guessing there's going to be a wire running or something, and this is to hide the wire. That would be my guess. This one as well. In here. And these aren't painted or anything, so they're just plain wood. And then we have a signpost going to go in here. I think that's where this is going, here. But we'll put the stairs on first. So you see my stairs got a little bent, but they are all painted. Now you also see that some of these are longer than others, and that is going to depict on the holes in the bottom here. So you can see that there's a hole here, 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 and down here. That's where that one's going, and then you've got the little one which is going to go in those three. I think that's how it works. And you want the little one facing, let's see, they want it with the ends going outwards, so like this. I don't know that it will need any glue. It's going to need a bit of glue. I can see that right at the start. It's a little loose in there. Okay, so I'm just going to run it along the other one as well. Getting ready. And a bit down the bottom there, which is probably a bit too much. And the only other place it's going to have a bit of glue is on the end here, because it goes in that hole just up here. So just put a little bit on there. Okay, so pop those back in. I wasn't going to put this in until I did some of the other bits, but I think it won't really interfere with it. So I think we'll be okay. So I got these in the first time with no trouble whatsoever. Now this time they're like, oh, we got glue, we don't want to go in there. Oh, come on. How silly. It really is like that too. I had no trouble the first time, and it was all very loose. Let me get this facing me a second and do it. Admittedly, I didn't test for the other ones, but still. There we go. How funny. It was so very loose in there. And now it's just struggling. There we go. Now it's in. Sorry, I know you can't see any of that, but it is in. And now it's out. Alright, let me go and put that in. I think sometimes it's just my angle or something. Anyway, and then this one in the top here, along with this one going in their hole. Although I don't think there's any glue on that anymore. So let me have this again facing me a moment. Well, that one did go in. It's been very awkward, guys. Sorry. I'd love to show you what I'm doing, but I'm struggling myself. Almost in. And out. Okay. You stay there. Don't you come out again. So that one goes in fine. This one goes in. This one will go in. And we just got this one to worry about. And it is just paper, so, or card. This one came out again. Alright, let me do this. Okay, they are all in, so if we're careful, famous last words, then maybe I have to put a bit more glue on the end of this one again. And put this over, hopefully without messing with it too much. The other one's come out again. Right, that one's in. My goodness. Right, because I put glue on it, I think it made the cardboard very wet as such. So do be aware of that. So they are in, and I ended up having to cut the ends off, or some of the ends off, because the cardboard itself started to fray as such in there, so it wasn't great. This one's just come out again, and to get them in there and then support them in that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a bit of glue underneath to hold these three in from the side here, so they stop falling out, and do it from underneath instead, because it just made them very, like I say, very loose and soggy basically. So that should work with that, and I could just let that do its thing. And there's nothing really going to go underneath those stairs to matter anyway, but that's what it ends up looking like. It made quite a mess on my stairs, I have to say. I'm rather disappointed with the outcome, but I will cover that with some paint and it'll look fine by tomorrow, or later today even. Okay, next we have to put this in, and what we're going to do is put, let's see, put this through here and then through here. So hopefully this is a little bit better at going in. And you want it that the flat side is pointing upwards. So I go in something like so. I can't believe the stairs would be such a hassle. I mean, really. Doesn't say to glue this, pretty sure. No? Or does it? Yes, it does. Okay. Just avoid the whole area, I guess. Just a tiny bit, if I can get a tiny bit. Yes, a tiny bit, hopefully. And then put that you can still see the hole on the other side. Can't believe how much those stairs would be a hassle, and I never anticipated this. I did not think I could have a stair challenge. And then put this through, and I don't want to put any glue on the end of this tab because of what happened with the stairs. I didn't help very much, did it? Maybe I didn't give it, probably didn't give it long enough to dry. That is actually in, my goodness. It's not straight, but it's in. Okay. And it makes me very nervous about the old wiring when I'm struggling with some stairs. Okay, but that is the next step. So it looks alright, doesn't it? Like I say, the stairs just gonna need some paint touch up really, because they look a little bit messier than they should. But stop playing with them. You can put them on one side, let them do their thing. Okay, right, wiring. So there's a couple of things we need here. We need to, we will need to put the wire through this little piece here, which is going to go on the house. We need to drill a hole through the top here to allow the wire to go through. That's like the light shade. So you want it to be a reasonable one, or cut the top off. And then we need to cut some of the strip here, and we have to heat seal it. So this needs 25 millimeters, or 2.5 centimeters. So just about here, just do this with a pair of scissors. Do it as straight as you can, and that will be all we need of that for this wire. I don't know if we need it for anything else, but we also need to get that shade done. And you're going to be using the red and black wire. There is another one, it's not used for this. So I'm thinking for this we can do, they say cut the top off of P6 next, which is this piece. Let me see, I don't have my blade here because I was cutting pieces. Hold on. I mean, I think it's just to put the wire through, so it doesn't have to be a huge hole or anything. And if you've got, I mean, I do have a drill bit. I probably could do it with that too, but it's enough for a hole to put these through. So then you thread, how are we having this? Thread it through like so. This is where my head messes with me on directions, and you want the black part to go through it as well. So you want it all the way through. Be careful not to pull too tight, so it looks something like this. So it shows a little bit. Then we come to this, which I don't have a lighter with me, I have to go and get one. Then we put these through here, and we want it shaped, so we want it all the way down to the base, like so. And then we are going to want to bend it. So the bend for this, let's have a look here, is what they get you to have. About 10 mil, so around about here is where they want it to bend like so. So it'd be a 90-degree angle. Then this part will go on the wall. So just want to make sure that this goes all the way down, and then a 90-degree. So you are going to use heat to do this. So you can use a hairdryer on high. I'm not even sure I own a hairdryer, but bear with me. I'm going to grab a lighter. It should do the job. Okay, not a lighter, but I found this to hand. So you want to kind of position it how you want it to be, and you want it to be quite quick. So let me try and get things to save my hands. You don't want to leave the heat on there long. So let's get a couple of, oh, this one might be a good one. Couple of screwdrivers here, get that out of the way, just to hold it in position, to save my hands really. So it probably doesn't have to be in full position at this stage, just enough of one that you've got to bend it, and then when it cools down, or when you've done this part, then you do it. So what you do is you, from what I can gather, you go over it quite quick. I don't have anything better than this to do this, other than I do believe I have a hairdryer somewhere, but obviously you don't want to do it too much because you don't want to burn the what's going to be the lampshade. Just save your hands. Go careful, kids playing with fire. But because it's not like a blowtorchy thing, it's going to take probably longer to do. Don't set it on fire. Or make it black probably. Okay, well, that's what we have. Probably not the prettiest, and you could probably do it a lot nicer, but it is in a good position. It's at a 90-degree angle, which is what we want. It's hot, and it faces like that. What I'm going to do is let this cool down, and then I'm going to get some yellow on it to make it yellow again, so it takes out some of that scorch from the heat. But it is hot right now, but it is a nice 90-degree angle, so I'm really happy with the angle on here. Just not happy that it burnt it somewhat. I don't know if it shrunk wrapped it enough, but done the job. That's where I'm going. Alright, I will be back in a moment when that's cooled down, and we'll get some paint on that and get a bit of yellow, and we can get it on our house. And that was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting hassle. Alright, I think we'll be okay. So then what we want to do is put these wires through our piece of wood. Quite happy with how this looks actually. I was expecting more of a nightmare with it, and you want to go down as far as you can and you want to try and get some of the yellow tubing inside if you can. Something like that. Just about see the yellow tubing on the inside. So, and then this is going to go in here. And I imagine we need a bit of glue for this. You're probably meant to have one colour going in one and one in the other, but they seem to be able to go in both. Be careful as you go. You don't catch anything. And a little bit of glue just to hold it in place. And here and here, which actually goes on the wire. Never thought that one through, huh? And pull it back as far as you can. And again, you're going to want to try and push some of this tubing through the wall. And I want the red on the right hand side, opposite way. Didn't think it would make a difference, but I actually do. So let's pull this through again, pull you back. And I want the red onto the left side, because that's kind of how it is in here. And that should match up then with how the light is as well. And again, try and get it, if you can get the tubing through the back wall, you'll be even better off. And that's what we have. I swear this should have been painted white, this piece. Kind of stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? Let me just check I haven't mispainted it white. Doesn't say. I do think it probably should have been, unless it's going to be covered up, and I bet it's not. I think we're going to have to do this white, otherwise it really stands out, doesn't it? Anyway, that's what you have. You have your light like so. And you want to make sure that your light shade joins it. It's come up, hasn't it? There. So now mine actually shows because it's come up. Okay, it's alright. I'm okay with that. So, and that's what you end up with. I will paint this piece back here. Just have to paint it with it on the model, that's all. Maybe I'll paint down here a little bit yellow because it's kind of separated. I think when it shrank back up. It happens. And that completes number 17 anyway, so it was a very long step. Sorry, 16 is whether I would then want to go and do 17. That's the, because otherwise I think they're going to be making a start on it and not finishing it, or make this a very short video and they do 17 for tomorrow. That is the question. We could make a start on it. It includes some wiring and stuff like that. Or we could make this one just a bit longer video. We could do that too. Alright, let me put this to one side. I'm going to get a coat of paint on this while I get the other bits. They are all ready to rock and roll, and we will get 17 done. Okay, so first things first is not this. It is a little box here. And here. And this yellow, no, that piece are the first three we need, and we need also our battery box here, very wiggly with the old wires. Careful not to pull them. Okay, so first of all we have it with the screw upwards, it looks like this, and with which piece to go where. Let's see. So one's going to face the right way and one's going to face the wrong way, so I'm assuming the one that faces the right way is going to be the one with the writing on. One also has a little notch at the bottom here, so this one faces the wrong way, and then this one goes like so. Okay, so that's what we have. Then we put in our piece here, which we don't really need that in for, I don't think, and this goes in here, not where I was trying to put it. So at the moment it's all upside down basically. That's still not going to make any sense because they're going to want this to show, surely. Like this, I think. No, because this goes to the bottom. Oh my goodness, I'm making a right pig's ear of it, aren't I? Let's try this again. This goes to the bottom. The writing will be upside down. So I think like this. So when it turns over, it'll look like that. That's what I think. That would be my guess. Kind of a little tricky to tell, really. And then we're going to take this piece, and this is going to pop on the end. It's still upside down at this point. So you want the notches to go upwards. Surely I want yellow showing outside. Get it in. Right, I can get it in, but not all the way. There we go, I think that's it. So I think it's like that. It looks like the picture. It looks like the picture. Okay, alright. Next we are going to glue this on here. Matching up the... Actually, you know what the best thing I think will be is while it's upside down, we want to put this piece on so that these two pieces go through here. Turn it around again. These two pieces go through here. I'm not even so sure now I've done it right at all. It looks like I have. So this piece of wire goes this way, and then it comes back on itself by the looks of it and goes on here before you put this on. And the rolife sign will be let me work this out, guys. Okay, this is how it looks. So it looks like that. You've got the rolife sign on this side, upside down, we're still working. And these will go in here. I'm just going to trust the system, I guess. And these are the only two that plonk in, along with hopefully the wires staying in spot, which you didn't want to do. Something like that. So it goes through one side and then the long wire rolls back on itself, like so. And nothing is keeping this particularly in place right now. And then you want to pop this one on top. It's just weird to me that the rolife sign, one is going to be upside down. Which means you're really not going to see it. Maybe it's just to let us know. Maybe it's not a display. Okay, again, get around the edges particularly. I'm sure those wires will come out again if they haven't already. And we'll put our board on. Just make sure all the holes match up. And hold that down for a moment. Looks like everything matches. Okay. Now at this stage they want you to put items on it. But personally, I think I'm going to get this in the model first because I'm more likely to knock the items. And I'll show you what they are because I will put them on straight afterwards. So next what happens is I will come back to this, and there's also some painting that's going to need doing as well to put our plants on, but before that let's get this in spots. Okay, so it is going to go in here, down here, and then the long wires are going to thread through this long slot here, not the little one that you think it's going to go to right next door. It doesn't, it goes through this one. So let's get this in, make sure that these are in correct. Before I do that, this one has come out, little stinker, and basically we are going to get them in like so. Now this is where the problem was, that if I had the stuff on it I would probably be knocking it off about now. I think my wires are still all in place where they should be. They look like they are. And then just push them down all the way through if you can. They're in the right spot. Oh, strength. Okay, we got there. And then I'm going to thread these wires out the way through these here and here, so they're gone for now. So there is a part that I won't be completing today, just because it needs all the painting. I know I haven't painted it, and it's to do with a flower stand. It's those flower pots that we made right at the beginning. It's to do with that. There we go. And I think these will go higher up, by the way, on the inside. But that is in and how it looks. So now what we need to do is put all the bits and pieces on, and we should be able to do that with it in position, except for, like I say, this flower pot which wants painting on the outside. So let me go back to that page. Let's see how we're making it. Okay, so it does, like I say, once it's painted, once it's completed, really. So you've got one like so with the long end, one with the pointy knob on the top. It's going to go in there, and this one goes through both of those. So it's probably going to go some of the way onto it, I would imagine. Doesn't look long enough, does it, to do this? Especially when you need the other one too. And then through here. It's only just going to catch. Maybe there'll be more over and I could push a bit more through. And then not this, that's on top, then this one. Okay, we can definitely push this through more then. I was thinking both of those went on it, but it doesn't. Okay, and then this one goes up here. Very strange shape flower pot it is. Okay, so this will need painting, and then it has this pattern and it wants the curve going over this side. Through the top, basically. Okay, like this. Now it needs painting, and then I have the flower pots on it. So when it's painted, it will face this way on here, so that these, and it'll go in here like so, and then it's going to have the flower pots put on top, or it's going to have a flower pot put on top. Obviously I'm not doing that right now because I'm going to paint it. However, we can put our mailbox in. So we have one which says post on the front, so that's going to go in here. It will. Almost all the way down. Feels like it's something stopping it. Okay, alright, it's in. Then what will happen is you have a cat which will be going here. There's an X on here, you can see that on the camera. So he's going to go there. This green one is going to go here. Might need more trimming, and this one goes on top of here when it's done, because it's got a little X on the top there as well. So that I'm going to do afterwards because of this, so I will show you that tomorrow. I will get that done and put in. So next what we have to do is, after doing that, putting it in place like we have, we will be doing the front. So let me grab that. So we need this piece, and we need the screwdriver, and we will need the tiny screws like so, and we will be putting this on here gently, right? And then we have to pull the wire tight so it fits fine. So just like so. Let me grab a screwdriver. Any screwdriver will work, I'm sure. And let me get my magnetizer, so at least it's magnetized. So you can buy these pretty cheap, and they just magnetize it, so you can pick up your screws a little easier. So you got a magnetizer at the bottom, or a demagnetizer at the top, so don't just go round and round in circles, otherwise you're going to take it off again. And good that it really worked. And it's been a while since I've used it, but you know, let me get that end of it maybe. Might need a new one. Haven't used it for a while. Kind of worked. I tried. Okay, so let's get you back in here in position. And in here. So So you don't want to over screw this because you don't want to break the board, but you do want it enough that it will hold. There's one. Where are you at, mate? There we go. I don't think my magnetizer worked at all. Oh, yes, it did. Look, it's holding. Just impatient. Then put this one in, and that's the front. Going to start looking like a book nook soon. And then we attach this to here, and you're going to want to glue down here, but nowhere else. So there's my glue gun. Got too many tools all over the place again. Reminds me of other builds. I'm so used to using wood glue. And before you put it on, you're going to want to pull that wire through so that it doesn't scrunch up. So if you go to the bottom of it, underneath here, we should be able to see the wire and be able to pull it through so it's not without hopefully cutting it. You could possibly do it this way too, that works. My stairs are all a bit icky anyway at the moment. So it worked for that, but obviously not the battery box part. But everything else it did. Okay, we are alright. I'm not sure you saw any of that. Anyway, at the bottom you basically pull the wires in from the bottom. Now they'll come out again because I manoeuvred. And you have to do two sets. You have to do the ones, because you've got two wires going there, you have to do the ones which run through to the box itself as well. So once you've done that, then you just put it through this hole here, which we should have painted, shouldn't we? If I can get it through the hole. There we go. Doesn't fit particularly well, and there are wires in the way. So let me get at those wires again. Sorry, just pulling the wires through at the bottom here. There we go. That seems to, so it's going to be very loose at the front. I'm not particularly sure it's much better on the side here. Well, that was rather rude. My computer decided to stop working. Anyway, so where were we even? I'm not even sure. So we put the side on. It did give me an opportunity to paint this to an extent, so we can go ahead and put this in. So let me see which way they want it facing. They want it facing going towards the back like so. I mean, I understand why they want it when it's off, but and maybe this wouldn't have got knocked off, but I'm pretty sure other things would be. I know what I'm like. There we go, that's in. Now my plants. So the red one goes on here, I believe. So it just goes on top of there. Then the green one, and then our little cat. This doesn't feel like it's in all the way. Keep looking at this post box and it's like just doesn't feel like it's all the way in. So the red one goes there, so I'm going to kind of put the flatter side of it, because it does have a flatter side, towards the thing, then see if we can put that back up. Probably needs a bit longer. And whether I really have to shave this. So I think what I'm going to do is where the cat's meant to go, I think I'm going to put my big plant rather than cutting it. And then I'm going to do the cat in between. Stay there. Okay, it does stay upright normally, and then we've got the cat here. You can't see this well at all, can you? Sorry, just realised. Okay, and then, so what you meant to do is you meant to put the green one on here, but I have not done that. I am, however, going to put my cat there instead. So my cat will be in between the plants, like he's hiding, waiting to pounce. And I need a thing just to wipe off the excess glue, because I put rather a lot of glue on the cat for not really needed. I'll put this back up and leave that to stabilize. So get rid of that. So that's on. Now we are meant to then turn it upside down, I think, and put on some support beams that I'm not going to be able to do because I've just put that on, so I'm not really going to be able to do that. Where does it go? Let's see. But what we can do, give that a moment. I have this. We can get this one done. So we can put this on here, making sure it's the right way, which it would not have been. And we can make a menu board. So we can do all that while we're waiting. And this is the part for underneath, along with, where's the other piece? That's the menu board, and this in that piece. So if we give it a few minutes, then we'll come back to that. So let's line this up. Don't think it needs more glue on these. Squish it around. And this will go in here, like so. I know that there's a part I haven't got, I just saw, oh, that's number 18, that's okay. So this is the last part of 17 that I'm doing now. So it didn't take too long, did it? It wasn't as long as the first thought it was going to be. So just make sure that's pressed all the way down. Okay, and while that's drying, we will do our sign menu board, which is one here. It says coffee again. Is it the same as the other one, I reckon? And on the back, probably the same. So what they do is they slip in, if I can pick them up, they slip in the slots down here. So you want them in just like so. Hopefully it does not need gluing. And then the other one like this. Like so, and then this one on top. And now we're just waiting for that to dry enough that I can be playing with it, because then we will actually put this piece in as well into the model. But I'm not going to attach this again, not going to attach it until I've got it in. Get this side in too. Oh, missed. Almost had it, then I didn't. That one just needs to go up a tiny bit. There we go. And I don't think that needs gluing at all, actually. So that's our little signpost. So give me a few minutes and I will be back to put this in, add this, put these two strips underneath. I wonder if I can put this one in. Maybe I can probably do that. So all this one does is it slips underneath the other one, and there's a hole down here that you want it to go into. Alright, what I'm going to do is take you off. So I'm just going to pop this in here like so. I mean, now I know where I want that plant, it's not so bad. So remembering that your wires are coming out through this hole, not the one we're trying to put this piece into. It's not that way round, by the way, guys. It's this way, so you want that on the outside. Explains a lot, doesn't it? And push that in. So it's making like little steps. It's kind of cool. Okay, and while we're now able to move it before putting this one back on, let's find out where these strips go. So first of all, this one goes here. Goes here. I guess you leave this off until you've put it in so that you can adjust those wires for that front. Sorry, I'm gonna have to turn it to me. Sticky up there. It's tight fit. It's a real tight fit. If I find my cat's gone flying, well, it's gone flying and we'll put it back. It's such a tight fit, it actually split the wood. That's okay. So that'll be in down here. And down here as well. And then this one, I believe, goes in here and on here to keep the front attached. So again, just need to face me a second and I'll show you. I think that's where it's going anyway. And again, a very tight fit. It doesn't seem a right fit either, by the way. Okay, I needed to push this door down a bit to line up better. There we go. There we are, all the way in. So that is in, like so. And my cat is still in place. This fell off there. Right, and now it doesn't have anything to hold that right now, so it's very droopy. This floor is to the ground rather than, that's because it's come out. Bear with me. Sorry, postman came. Oh, put it that way. So that glue does take time to take, it's not instant. Okay. And it looks very cute, doesn't it, with the cat poking out between the two. Then there are 4 triangles back here, little crosses, not triangles, crosses back here, which are going to be for our signboard, which I am happy to put in. And for people concerned about the wiring, I'll show you 1 second. I'll turn it towards you as to how it looks. Okay, it's about right. Okay, so the wiring at the back is going to go through the great big slot. So you see on the back here, there's a long one. That's where you want that to go in. This goes up against it. This flooring that we just put in goes through this hole. If you were trying to put your wires through there, you're going to have difficulty with putting that through. So make sure you put it through this big hole, which lies just on top here. You can see where it's coming through. So it lies just on there and goes to the back with the others. So there we have it. That is step, I don't think there was anything else. That is step 17 completed. And next we have step 18, which we will do tomorrow. So I think it's looking lovely. I really do. I'm quite happy with how my light ended up looking. I mean, I know I burnt the yellow, but it has the right angle, which is how it was on theirs, and I think it looks really good. I think it looks very good actually. I'm going to give this one more coat here, this notch here. If you can see, I've done it to this side. Obviously that one needs another one. And I've done a little bit of touch up on those stairs. It did get a bit messy with that wiring, but this has held it together with those pieces. And this piece, I almost want to just clamp it together. Let me see, I've probably got a very wimpy, yeah, there we go, wimpy one of these. When I say wimpy, it doesn't close all the way anymore, just so it doesn't put any pressure on the thing back there, just for now. It's not stuck there, it's just there. And there we go. So that's what we have for today. And like I say, I do think it looks lovely, and I love the fact that I did the cat that way. I know it wasn't the way they said. You're meant to have the green one next to the other one. You're kind of meant to have it that this is where the cat is and the cat is round here, but you can see the cat better this way from the front. That's what I'm going with. And it's like she's peeking out ready to pounce while she's sleeping, but kind of almost ready to pounce on anyone walking past up those stairs. Although she's very big. She's very big. Actually, she's huge compared to the stairs, isn't she, for a cat? There you go, just straighten those up a bit. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. Any comments are very much appreciated. I do look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for the continuation. And step 18, we are going to be putting in the last floor, the one at the back here. Our flowers table that we did right at the beginning will be going in, plus let's see what else we're going to be working on. 18 is a really short step, and I'm making a chair which I need to paint, so I need to get doing that. 19, we're going to put the clock which goes on the back wall, so we're going to be starting to work on the back wall by the looks of it, with the mirror and everything, and that looks quite a straightforward step. Actually 19, it looks quite long. It's going to have our tree put in, it's going to have a lamp put in, some more wiring, but I think it's a straightforward wiring, and that will end step 19. So I'm hoping that we can get 18 and 19 done tomorrow, and then we will have the back on this as well, and we only have the right wall to go. So thank you very much. Like I say, any comments appreciated. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and do take care of yourselves. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.